Okay, what is up, YouTube? Hopefully, we're recording. The levels are looking good. We are going live today. Just need a sip of water. Bear with me a second. Okay, so the levels are coming through. They're looking healthy, looking good. Stream rate's looking good. So I'll begin. So, going forward on this channel, I've decided I want to start creating some PowerPoint presentations to sort of anchor where I am in the flow. So it's going to actually serve two purposes. It's going to anchor where I am on the flow, so I don't lose my point when I'm giving you the information, I guess. And the second thing is it also aids in helping my editor, who's not technical by any nature, know when to cut and knows what I'm talking about without the prior knowledge of what I'm doing. So it serves those two purposes. So in this video, I would like to, if the title's not come through, show you how I'm going to start automating the construction of these slides going forward. Now, you should be able to see, just to check, yep. So you should be able to see on screen right now a PowerPoint template that's been given to me by my designer. And you can see it's just a standard PowerPoint template where he's made a number of layouts. So if I just scroll through here, you can see he's just made a couple of different layouts. I'm going to use this as the base. Not sure what that is. Maybe that's his breakfast. I'm not that lucky, but let's say this is going to be used now as the base plate reference for all of my PowerPoint presentations going forward. One of the sort of major problems I have when I'm generating PowerPoints is I always want to add new information to them. There's a lot of messing about, moving things onto different slides, and just really getting that whole ordering of the slides, ordering the content. So what I actually want to do is I want to create my slides in Markdown format and then convert them to PowerPoint. But I want to use this base template as a reference template in that conversion. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually do this using pandoc. And because I want my presentations to be in version control using Git and GitHub, how we've been looking at in previous videos, I want to create a GitHub action. So I'm going to create a workflow, and this workflow is going to, on push or on commit of my code, it's going to generate PowerPoints from my Markdown files. So that's what I'm going to create in this video. I've got the Docker part of this working. So I've got pandoc running in Docker. I've got this part working in my terminal already. So this video is really going to be about me just showing you how to take this snippet and how to put it into a GitHub workflow. So I'm just going to go to the browser. Hopefully people can see that. I'm just going to click up here to create a new repository. I'm just going to move this into the center of my screen. And I'm going to call this repository, let's call this pandoc presentation, like that. And that's what we'll call it. I'm going to make it private. I'll add a readme, just get this going. Now that's going, I'm going to need my template inside my repo. So let's do a couple of things here. So firstly, I'm just going to press the full stop while in the browser to open up the VS Code editor. I'm now going to just find my presentation, which is there. And what we'll do, I'm going to create a folder. Let's call it template or templates. Maybe I'll have more than one template. Let's call it templates, like so. I'm just going to drag in my Evil Saint template. Okay, so I've got my template. Let's just commit that and push that up. So added template. So just add PowerPoint template, and we'll just push and commit that up. There you go. Right. So that's in our code now. Today's going to be mostly, because I've not got a massive amount of time, which is why I'm not on camera as well. But today's mostly going to be me coding and sort of telling you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. There might not be as much explanation as a normal video, but I just want to get this up and running for myself, really. Obviously, if it can help you guys along the way. So if I just click now and go to repo, where we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at the GitHub actions, and we're going to create an action. By default, there's no actions in our GitHub repository. If we click on actions, you can see we've just got the demo actions tab. I do recommend having a look and play around with some of these workflows. There's a lot of boilerplate where there's a lot of code already ready for you. I do quite a lot with GitHub Actions, so I've actually already got some code that I'm going to be sort of pasting in. So let's just let's just go quickly and make a GitHub action. So we need to create a folder. So let's just add a file here. We'll create a new file. Now, when you're creating files inside the standard GitHub navigation, every time you put a /, it will allow you to create a folder level deep. So in this case here, let's say we wanted GitHub. If I wanted to put GitHub and then have a subfolder, I could do a / and that will jump me into the GitHub folder. And then I could do my workflows like so, and then just do a /. And in this case here, we'll call this workflow, let's just call this pandoc. Actually, call it presentation pandoc. It's always important to sort of have an idea of what your files are going to do without having to go into them. And if I just call it pandoc, it could be doing any number of pandoc conversions. And pandoc is a very powerful tool, and we can go into that on a video. But here is where I'm going to produce my workflow. So this is where I'm going to put all my code to generate what happens when I push this repo. So I'm going to call this, let's just call it something like pandoc pipeline. Now we need an event, so we'll do an on event, and we'll do a push event, and we'll use branches. Now we could specify multiple branches. In this case here, I'm just going to use the default main branch, but we might want to listen to a push to a different branch. Let's run a job, and we'll call this an build pandoc job. Now it needs to run on something, so runs on. Let's call this one runs on. We're probably best off using the Ubuntu latest, because that's what my Docker snippet is running in. So let's do steps, and then just do I can never remember the syntax for this. I need to cheat. I think it's just checkout. I think it's checkout version 3 or checkout. Let me just quickly look a second, because yeah, it's actually an @ so there you go. Let's put a name here. So the name of this is convert file, and then we need to put an action here, what we want to run. So let's just do a run, and we'll do, because it's going to be a multi-line, let's just do the pipe symbol here, and then we'll do for file in md. We'll do something until we've done something. Here we'll just echo out file. Let's just do a name here. We'll call this one upload artifact. Do something like that. And then let's say this uses, so it'd be similar to this action here, but this would be, let me just look at it. I think it's upload -artifact. Yeah, in fact, there it is, upload -artifact. So version 2, and then with, now here's where we're going to upload our artifact. So we'll call our artifact Evil Saints PowerPoints or PPTXs, I say. Now, we could just call that every time, but every time we download it, it's going to have the same file name. So I tend to use the run ID, but you could also use part of like the hash or whatever you want to use to make these unique. So typically when I do this kind of thing, in fact, let me just copy that here, reinvent the wheel. So I've just found one of my previous examples, not for this exact purpose, but for converting some stuff. So just copy that here. And we'll say all of PPTX files. So here's our job, pandoc pipeline on push branches main. Looking good. It's going to echo out the file to start with, which is fine. Let's just commit that. Now, because we're not actually creating any PowerPoints, there won't be any artifacts on this initial commit, but let's just see what happens. So go to actions. So first workflow, and there's an error. So let's have a look at what the error was. So we got an invalid line YAML. So on syntax line 10, let's just go back to code. Let's just press the full stop here. Just going to format the YAML as we go. Okay, so that's done. And then let's go back into that file. So into the YAML. And you can see there, it's now picked up the mistake. So format the document. And what is the mistake? What have we done wrong? There you go. Right. So that was the mistake there. There was no space. So it's a lot better editor when you're inside the editor. So let's just try this now and see if this worked. Fix YAML. Let's just go back to the repository in this one. So we fix the YAML. So the pipeline is running. It's queuing at the moment. Now, obviously, we haven't put the secret source in yet, but we have got a very primitive GitHub action working. So underneath convert file. And of course, there's no .md files. However, now we've got the basic running of a workflow. Let's just go back here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add a new file. And let's call this one test.md. Can't type. Just copy that. Summary slide. All right, so that's our initial presentation test. Okay. Let's have a look at what actions. Just thinking out loud now, didn't the readme get added as a markdown file? So there might actually be a mistake. Let's have a quick look at what happens. There's nothing to upload with the PPTX. In terms of conversion, so we are actually echoing out the README and we are echoing out the test.md, which is fine. That's what we wanted. Let's go back to the code. Now let's take my Docker snippet from my terminal. what we're going to do, let's just press the full stop again. We'll go into the code editor. Right, let's go into my terminal. Copy this out of my script. See, the problem with having this in a terminal is every time I make a change to my code, I'm not in version control. And I was considering using the enter command. If you've not heard of the enter command, we'll look at it in another video, but the enter command allows you to monitor files. And when a file changes in that folder or that particular specific file that you specify changes, you can do additional actions. The problem is, while it works on converting files while you're working on them in a folder, it's not set up with version control and all the officialness that we're going to be setting up in this. So here now, I copy my Docker snippet, which is here. So templates, Evil Saint template, that's the reference doc. So we're converting using pandoc core. So that's the Docker container here. Just mounting a volume. You've probably seen this syntax if you're used to Docker. And the output then is just going to be whatever the file is. I don't know, final was me playing around, so I'll just call it Evil Saint. I mean, we don't really even need to have the Evil Saint bit before the presentation name, so let's do that. So that's going to loop around. Now, what we probably want to exclude here, actually, let's just see if this works first to make sure everything's working, and then I'm going to exclude the readme. So let's do this. Okay. Go to interactions. So let's see what happens in this one. So it's converting. So it looks like it's doing a little bit more this time. Did it upload anything? So you can see here there was an artifact created. So if we were to click on the summary, we've got one artifact. If I click here, it'll jump down. You can see here. So this here is going to be two presentations, one made out of the readme.md and one out of the test. Now you can see already it's quite a large size. What we would not want to happen is to have a whole bunch of Markdown files that we're working on, and then every single time we commit them all, they're going to be converted into PowerPoints, because this could get quite a large sum, a large amount of data. So what we'll do is we'll fix that next. So let me go to the code, and I'll go to my workflow. While we're in here, actually, let's just add an if statement around my workflow. So GitHub presentation pandoc. About here, let's do an if statement. I'll put that in the double square brackets. And then do a phi. So if this condition passes, then we generate, and we'll do if file does not equal readme.md. In fact, actually, what I'll also do, although there's probably a better way of doing this, I'll actually check if the file contains a version number. So let's do something like this. So if this is contained in the file, and we'll do a -v. Now version is going to be what, between 0 to 9. So let's do it 0 to 9 like that, and then we'll also check for the full stop afterwards as well. So we'll do something like that. All right. So then if the file comes and the file like test version 0.1 or 0.01.md, and it's got a version number, then we'll convert it. If it hasn't, then we won't convert it. So let's try that now. Like so. Okay. And let's just go back to the repo. Let's see what happens now. So we shouldn't have a readme in that loop. So that's the first thing. And we shouldn't have the, yeah, brilliant. So you can see now, because we haven't got a version number on that, that test, nothing's actually been converted, which is good. That's what we wanted. So now if I go back into code, let's make a second file. And I want to try something because I've got the pandoc page in front of me. And what I'd really like to do is if we can get to the point where we can also upload some speaker notes. Because once you've got a lot of PowerPoint presentation slides, it's actually so much easier to manipulate them, you know, in Vim or in any of your text editors. So let's just make another slide here. Let's copy that. And I want to make another one. And we'll call this one proof of concept version 0.0.1.md. Inside here, we'll do that. Now, it looks to me like if we do this syntax here, we should be able to generate speaker notes. So we'll do something like that. Let's see if this is working now. So see if this works. Just continue to open up new tabs here, right? So proof of concept with speaker notes. Just click into it. Now we should only be converting the one file. Okay, so it looks like the job's run okay. We'll wait for it to build. Click on summary. Let's check these artifacts. So you can see now we've only got 10.3 meg. Let's open that up. That's saving. Then once that's finished, let me try and find my Explorer window so we can examine the goods. Okay, so that's opening nicely, and let's just open the proof of concept. And I'll put that onto my second monitor. And let's just move to the second monitor. So this is the presentation that we just created. Enable editing. Okay, cool. Now, if we go to View, we should be able to go to Notes. No, not Grid Lines, Notes. And on the second, there you go. And we've generated some speaker notes. So we've got that working now. So I guess the next part of this is going to be generating a load of presentations inside here, working towards a system where you can mark them as either complete or ready to be converted. In this instance, I just check for this -v and then a number. Obviously, when you're doing this properly, you can pick something that makes more sense to you. But yeah, we got this working. So it's a bit late here now, hence why no camera. So I'm about to go to bed. But hopefully you found this useful. If you did find this useful, please thumbs up. Going forward, I am going to be creating more presentation-based videos just as anchor points. We're still going to do all the demos. We're still going to be looking at all the hands-on stuff, but we're going to keep anchoring back to these slides. So at least people can take screenshots. They've got reference materials. People can download the presentations. It just makes it easier to share the data and the knowledge as well as give people a reference. So hopefully this will be beneficial. Hopefully that was easy enough to follow along. If not, I am going to be continuing the GitHub series, and we are going to be looking at making more advanced workflows as we go forward. Apologies, I haven't been able to get a video out for a couple of weeks. There has been some real life emergencies come up. and it's kind of pushed the YouTube stuff on the back burner. It's now resolved, and the videos will be coming out at the regular scheduled programming. Hopefully that's been useful. Any comments, please leave them behind. Anything constructive, be it negative, positive, all appreciated. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff.